Hello friends, hope you are doing well. I am Akshay and welcome to our channel. So in the today's video, we are going to see exceptions in Blue Prism. So what are the types of exception? These all concepts we are covering in this today's video. So first we will start with the definition of exception. So exception is nothing but error in the code or something wrong in the code or some problem in the code. So while debugging the process, exception throws in pop-up format. So when something went wrong within the process that creates exception, that exception will cause termination of our process in control room. So basically there are two types of exceptions we are having in Blue Prism. So first one is the undefined exceptions, which is internal exception, and second one is the defined exception. So we will go one by one. So first one is the undefined exceptions. So Blue Prism only aware about their internal exceptions, which is undefined exceptions. So it is thrown by Blue Prism by its own. So when any input output is improper or action utilization is illogical or syntax error within the process, at that time Blue Prism throws the exception which is known as internal exceptions. Internal exception means something which is not expected by Blue Prism. So there are types of exception or the example of the internal exceptions are stack imbalance occur. This exception we are getting when we are having already any exceptions and we are getting another exception. So at that time exception thrown by the Blue Prism is stack imbalance occurred exception. Another exception we are getting is division by 0. When we are dividing any number by 0, at that time we are getting this exception. Syntax error, left hand value blank, no element match found, the query term. These are the examples of internal exception. So second exception time is the defined exception. So defined exception is the exceptions where we are getting. So to define that exception, we are using the exception stage in Blue Prism. So Blue Prism only known about the internal exception, but Blue Prism give opportunity to the developer to create their own exceptions by their own understanding as well as by their own requirements. So it defined exceptions defined by the developer. Exception stage is used to define that exceptions. So examples of the defined exceptions are system exception as well as the business exceptions. They are two majorly used exception types. Among that, there are also another types of exceptions are there which we are called as the defined exception, that are validation exceptions, application exception, data validation exception. After that, the configuration exception, find not found exceptions. These are the another types of defined exception. But majorly we are using system exception and business exceptions. So first we will go with the business exception. So business exception is the exception. There is some unknown scenario which is not covered in our PDD documents. PDD documents means product design document. So something which is we are not aware about. So that called as the business exception. Some condition given by the business to avoid that are also comes in the business exceptions. So third one is it is defined by the user by their own understanding. Some scenario which is not covered in our PDD document as well as in our control. So that called as the business exceptions. So business exception we are not retrying any business exceptions. We are throwing the business exception as it is. So business exception we can call as some scenario given by the our business, like the we are having the payment processing form and the business give the condition as the below the 15,000 we are not having to process that scenario. At that time we can take it as a business exception. So second type of exception is the system exceptions. So system exception happen because of system failure. So system failure means the internet speed error or any memory consumption, application level gets changed or any speed mismatch issue. At that time we are getting the exceptions which is called as the system exception. Process is getting failed because some internal factors. So system exception are the environmental, so we have to retry the system exceptions. So maximum three times we are retrying the exceptions. So these all about the exception types and definition of exceptions. So there is one of the concept is their exception handling. So we will talk on that exception handling in another video. So hope this video is helpful to you. If yes, please share this video with your friends and don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. So I will share this all the notes in our description of this video. So thanks for watching the video.